All right, time for another electric adventure. The fun never stops. This time, another long one, a long trip down to North Carolina. A buddy of mine is having his bachelor party weekend in my happy place, Asheville, North Carolina. Some of you guys are probably familiar with it. If not, Asheville is affectionately known as Beer City, USA. It trades that title back and forth with Boulder, Colorado. Each of those towns swap back and forth with having the most breweries per capita of any towns in America. And Hannah and I lived there for a couple years and really enjoyed it. I love it and I miss it. It's a great town, surrounded by the beautiful North Carolina mountains, full of breweries and great restaurants. It's unbelievable. So it'll be a fun weekend. So it's just me, no baby, no four-legged bozos, and it's staying here with all them. So doing it on my own. I don't have my masterful camera woman with me, but it'll be fun. I'll try and film as much as I can. And it's time to hit the road. It's a long haul. I'm gonna break it up with a stop overnight in Harrisonburg, Virginia, because I want to get there kind of fresh tomorrow. On the way back, I'll do it all in one leg. But we got a couple of charging stops and then staying in Harrisonburg. So, time to get rolling. All right, cruising down the road. I've got a long ways till my next turn. Got driver assist on, the self-driving light, very light. Just sort of have the phone propped up here. I wanted to point something out that I've pointed out on here before, but so many people, so many ID.4 owners don't know about this. So I'm just going to point it out again. The little binnacle screen, it's called, the small screen directly in front of the steering wheel, has a nice, simple, minimalist display. That display on the left showing my lane and this car carrier in front of me, you can expand that. You can make it bigger and it'll render the cars beside you. You just hit the left arrow on view and it gives you all the lanes. And I got a big cargo van coming up beside me on my left, and it'll render that here in just a second. Here it comes. There you go. Yeah, it's nothing you really have to have. It doesn't really serve any particular use other than just being kind of cool. Here comes a little Mini Cooper. It'll render that. It has very generic, basic renderings. Like small cars always render as some little hatchback. Trucks, vans, everything is just like generic truck. Like this thing in front of me, it's a car carrier. It's just rendering it as a truck. All the SUVs look alike on here. Yeah, it's fine. You don't need to go into details. Tesla, my God, the detail they're getting on Tesla is incredible. I mean, I think with their next update, they'll have it down to every little detail of every make and model. But for this, that's not necessary. Just show the cars. Yeah, so I just wanted to point that out because I see all the time people don't know that's a feature, and I think I just sort of discovered it by accident. But yeah, kind of cool. You're cruising along and you can expand your view, and I got a truck coming up on my right. It'll render this truck here in just a minute. The car on the left. Truck on the right. Oh, ghost truck. It's not rendering the truck and didn't render the truck on the right. Oh, there it goes. It finally did. It took a second. I think it has to be ahead of me by a little ways, and it's rendering it as an SUV. Again, it only has like 3 different vehicles it'll render, which is fine. Yeah, I think because of where the sensors are placed, it's got to be in front of me, obviously, by a little ways. Unlike a Tesla, this car doesn't have 8 eyeballs all the way around for 360-degree vision because it doesn't need it. The lane driver assist is just for keeping you in your lane. It's just a very, very a basic feature. Basic, but functions very well. Honestly, for what it is, it does a good job. It'll keep you in your lane. It'll speed up and slow down. I wouldn't take any hairpin turns in it. It doesn't really know to to slow down to take turns. A gentle highway curve is fine, but yeah, don't turn this thing on the, you know, Blue Ridge Parkway or something. All right, yeah, just wanted to point this out. I know I've done it before, but it's just a neat little feature that a lot of people don't know is there. All right, stop number one. A very, very familiar site for us, the Wawa in Newcastle, Delaware. I think my next stop will be a new one. Man, we stopped at this one a ton of times. It feels like they should know us on a first name basis here. We've been here a million times. It's a great spot. Got a ton of chargers. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Here's a first time thing. I'm the only one here. I almost can't believe my eyes. Yeah. Just me. I've never pulled in here and been the only one. This is a busy one. It's right off of 95, or I guess that was 95 that I was on. Yeah, on a really main route going north to south, south to north. Yeah, it varies. Sometimes you can pull in and have to wait in line. Other times you'll have to do yourself. But yeah, I'm just just a small observation, but I'm just really surprised. But we're juicing pretty good here. 113, yeah, not bad. You know, we're only capable of 125. So I'll take over 100. A lot of EA stations only get me like in the 60s or 70s. And I'll point out something that you know, maybe some people don't know. It had to be pointed out to me a little while back. Electrify America stations will have this green and white sticker that says how many kilowatts they charge at. The vast majority are 150, but there are others. Head over here, gotta walk around that cord. They charge at 350. Man, that's blazing. A lot of the newer EVs, I know the Hyundai Ioniq 5 and others charge up to 350. So just something to make note of. If you're at the chargers, just keep an eye out for that, so you're not tying up a 350 when you can only charge at 100 or 125. Just, you know, little charger station etiquette for you. I think I'm going to go in and get an energy drink, and shouldn't be too long of a stop. We got one more, and then I'm on to the hotel. So I'm going to keep moving. All right, stop number 2 in Fairfax, Virginia. Man, these things look brand new. I've been enough of these stations that they get faded after a while, and these look like they were just installed. I don't think it's coming through on the video, but man, they look shiny and brand spanking new, which is good. That's a good sign. We need more of these. My goodness, I certainly rant about that enough. So the plus side, there's 4 of them here, going at a good speed. Let's see what I'm charging at. Probably, I'm going to guess right around 100. Yeah, look at that. I was about spot on, 105. Yeah, they look brand new. Not all charging station locations are created equal. Most of them are like at a Sheetz or a Wawa or at a Target, Walmart. Probably 90% of them are at something where you can run in and grab snacks. This one is in between an office building, looks like an office building, and the back of a Home Depot. That's a Home Depot. That's like the mulch and like yard supplies department back there. I mean, it's not really an unpleasant location. There's green space. If we had the dogs, there's like some woods back there and some green space. You know, not a horribly unpleasant location. It's clean. But I'm kind of hungry. And in the bottom of this office building on the first floor, there's like an Asian restaurant or something. Looked like maybe an upscale Asian restaurant, but it smells amazing. And my mouth is watering and my tummy's going to start rumbling here in a minute. Yeah, I'm trying to think of another stop we've ever made where there isn't something in walking distance, to grab a bite to eat, like a Subway or a drugstore or something, like a CVS. yeah, kind of an odd location. But, you know, I can't really complain. I want them to put in more of these, and they're not all going to be at, you know, phenomenal locations with lots of amenities. Here in a minute, I might fire up the Googly Maps and see what's around. It's not urgent. It's another 2 hours to my hotel, and it's 6:42 right now. I'll probably get there around 9 o'clock. Yeah, I'll need something to eat before then. I might fire up Googly Maps and see what's around here. But yeah, we're juicing up. That's the important thing. And, you know, not the worst location in the world. Just kind of odd. I was kind of surprised to pull in, and it's just an office building and the back of a Home Depot and not really much else. It's kind of a more office type area. I don't know how to describe it. There's not really, it's not walkable. Not really much of note in the area. All right, well, gonna juice up and hit the road for the last leg. I'm getting kind of tired. I'm glad I split this up into 2 days, because I-95 around Washington, D.C., even though it kept moving, I never came to a standstill. Man, it wears you out. That's intense driving. Well, I tell you what, it's heavy traffic, and you really got to be alert, and it kind of wears you out. All right, yeah, so I'm just going to hang out here for a while and then do the last leg, and we'll be at the hotel, and then another stretch tomorrow, and we'll be in Beer City, USA. All right, I had myself a good rest at Candlewood Suites in Fairfax, Virginia. Time to hop back in, hit the road again. All right, stop number 1 of 3. This is a top off. I left the hotel with about 50 miles, so I'm just trying to juice back up to full. Really, the leg that I'm taking today only would require 1 stop. But I wasn't able to charge overnight at the hotel, so I've got to top off. So that's this stop. Then the normal one halfway through. And then when I get to Asheville, I want to top back off, just get back to full for the weekend. So I don't have any worries about rationing my electrons. So really this leg should only take 1, but, you know, a top off and a fill up on each end, which is fine. Adding 7 miles a minute, it's telling me. I'm at an Electrify America station in Staunton, Virginia. Pretty nice location. It's got a Walmart. But of course, as always, there's a couple broken chargers. There's a guy working on one down there, this utility van through there. That's an electrician. He's out here. I will say this, Electrify America is good at getting somebody out here quickly when a charger goes down. But it shouldn't happen this often. Jeez, their chargers, God, there's always at least one broken. You never have a full setup of chargers where they're all working. Yeah, so I'm juicing up. It says 25 minutes left, but I'm not going to hang around for all that. I just want to get enough to get to my next stop. So anyways, yeah, my usual rant about Electrify America and their broken chargers. But one thing in regards to the vehicles, there's one other EV charging here. It's a BMW iX, an all black iX BMW SUV. That thing is pretty sweet. They look good, and I see them all the time out of nowhere. I saw one for the first time a few days ago, and now I've seen like a half dozen of them, I think. Yeah, really good looking car. They're not cheap. I mean, it's a BMW SUV. It's going to be expensive, but it looks good. Yeah, just about time to keep moving. There is a Bojangles right down the road, which I'm really excited about. If anybody's viewing this from other parts of the country or world, I know we got one viewer in Germany. Let me tell you, Bojangles is the best on the road trip breakfast or lunch you can get. Chicken biscuits, Cajun fries. Oh my goodness. Yeah, really excited about that. We don't have it up in New Jersey. That's why I'm really excited about it. Yeah, probably get that on the way out. But about time to hit the road. All right, let's go. It's bow time. Yeah, got me some Bojangles. I don't get this very often, so it's pretty exciting. Got me a Cajun filet biscuit and some bow rounds, which are little hash browns. Yeah, Bojangles. This is what everybody's missing. Ah, man. Yeah. Their sweet tea, their chicken tenders, their Cajun fries, their biscuits. It's awesome. I'm going to scarf this down and keep moving. All right, stop number 2. This is the main stop. First one was just a quick top off, and the last one will be just make sure we got enough juice for the weekend. It's a great spot. 4 stations here at a Sheetz, so I was able to run in and get an energy drink and a snack. Unfortunately, the rant about crappy Electrify America stations continues. They very well may be fixed now, but I looked on PlugShare right before I showed up, and everybody was like, the only station that's working is station number 4, which I'm at right now. And even secondary to that, within station 4, only the cord on the right is working. So it's just what you have to deal with on these trips sometimes until they get serious about maintaining these or putting in quality chargers. But yeah, I'm juicing up just fine. It's a nice Sheetz, tons of green space around if we had the doggos. And somebody's got a doggo, big old greyhound. Yeah, so gonna juice up and hit the road for one more top off. And I mentioned I looked on PlugShare before I arrived. I highly recommend that. So PlugShare is not only great for finding chargers, but you can look at reviews, and the comments are really helpful. I mean, I could have been freaking out here, thinking all the stations were broken if I didn't see the note about going to station 4. So yeah, definitely PlugShare check out my video. I made a video about apps that EV owners really should have. PlugShare is number 1. Like I said, it'll help you find the stations, but also ahead of time you can find out which ones or one are working, which is what I did. So I pulled right into station 4. It was a little hiccupy. I don't think the touchscreen's working, but I can manually stop charging from the car. Ah, man, these chargers. All right, well, gonna hit the road and head to Asheville for one more stop, and then on to the fun. All right, time to wrap it up. This is my last stop. I made it to Asheville, and I'm charging just to fill back up, so I've got a full battery for the weekend. It was a great trip. I'm glad I broke it up into 2 segments. Stopping halfway at the hotel really made it a lot more bearable, especially since I'm by myself and I don't have any company. So that was nice. The last leg was beautiful, coming through Virginia. My goodness, Highway 81 through Virginia, it's just rolling farmland and beautiful mountains. It was amazing. So great trip. I did have one little bit of range anxiety. So I'm about 45 minutes away from Asheville, and I've got about 35 miles. Let's see. I was about 35 miles away and had 45 miles of range. So that's fine, 10 to spare. And then I started heading up over the mountains. I had to go over a ridge, and the range just started plummeting. I was losing about a mile of range for every quarter mile I was driving. It was kind of scary. But then I crested the range, started going down the other way. I got down to 29 miles and had further than that to go. But then I start going downhill. Regen braking starts adding juice back. The car is starting to realize, okay, we're not going uphill anymore. And next thing I knew, it told me I had 45 miles of range. But that was kind of scary, but I took a deep breath and I realized, okay, it's calculating based on what the driving conditions currently are. And currently I was going uphill, probably against the wind uphill. So yeah, a little bit of range anxiety, but I rolled in here with like 40 something miles of range. Yeah, just something to keep in mind as you're out and about. I do so much just driving around town and highway driving. I don't really think about external conditions killing the range. But yeah, I made it okay. Charging up at another Electrify America. I'm here at a Sam's Club. You guys are not going to believe this. It's really hard to believe. A couple of the machines are broken. First one I pulled into, I actually realized it had the Chatamo connector, and a Nissan Leaf pulled in. I said, oh yeah, I'll pull out of this one. You can have it. So they're over there. Next one I went to, was not working, just wouldn't recognize being plugged in. And then the third one I go to, I was able to start it up from the app, but it had a sign on it saying the card reader was down. Oh man, you know, these guys, Electrify America, I think many of you know, was started as a punishment to Volkswagen for their Dieselgate scandal. So they haven't taken it terribly seriously. It literally was a court order. The judge said, you know what, you guys got to build a bunch of charging stations because you messed around and cheated on your emissions. So they're not taking it very seriously. Blink is not taking it very seriously. They just saturated the market, made as many as they could, and then won't maintain them. ChargePoint and Tritium, on the other hand, are run by very technical engineers, and man, they take their machines seriously. ChargePoints are always working. Occasionally I'll run by one that I see is made by Tritium, and man, they're rock solid, so we need more of those. Anyways, I made it. Time to wrap it up. Gonna have a fun-filled weekend. I believe I'll make a video for the trip back. But for now, time to juice this thing up and start my weekend. Thanks for riding along. We'll see you next time. Bye.